I met a preacher man from Galilee who opened up blind eyes and made him see. He said, come and follow me, I'll show you what life was meant to be. I said I'd never turn away. I said I'd never leave his side all the days of my life, but I am weak and I'm afraid. I traded my Lord for pocket change. Yeah, baby, I'm not Judas. Baby, I'm not King. Baby, I'm not Satan. If we're on that tree, but every pieces of silver, he ain't worse than me. 'Cause he'd be trading for money, and I did it all for free.
Okay, so I have a very tough question to ask you. By the way, the song I just played is Judas by Josiah Quinn. It's one of those songs that I've been listening to this Easter period, and it has brought a lot of reflection, a lot of reflective moments for me. So yeah, I have a scenario that I'm going to paint right now. If you were to point out someone and you were to get a huge amount of money for it, yeah, and this is not someone that is distant from you, this is not a stranger, someone that you know, someone that you've worked with, someone who trusts you, you're just to point out the person, and then you get a huge amount of money from it. What are you going to do? This is even something that some people would do for free. This is what Josiah is trying to tell us in this song. Yeah. And this is exactly the weight behind what happened with Judas. In Matthew 26:14 to about 16, Judas Iscariot went to meet the chief priest by himself, and he asked how much they were willing to give him if he delivers Jesus over to them, and then they gave him 30 pieces of silver. At that point, 30 pieces of silver was the price that they would pay for a slave. Yeah. So it was just transactional for Judas. He just wanted the money that, he would get to sell out a slave, and then he sold Jesus. That was just it. So the decision that Judas made at that point was the starting point of our redemption story. That's why I'm starting from that point. And if we are honest, there are moments that we have chosen the convenient things and the things that seem obvious over our true convictions as Christians. So we might have chosen what we are going to gain over what is right. We might have chosen ourselves over what should be as believers. And at this point, I think we are not so different from Judas. And that is very uncomfortable. But well, let's see. Our pastor gave a detailed explanation of the death and suffering of Christ in church today. I was almost crying. He talked about how they usually beat criminals then. The type of whip they use, it was laced with bones and it was made with metal. It was laced with thorns. And he said normally they would beat them 39 strokes, but there was another ones that would, beat till they were tired. So they would not count the amount of strokes they were given. So they would take something to be, strong enough. Then they would just keep beating the criminal till they were tired. Yeah. So the first part where they beat Jesus Christ, he was beaten so much that he was disfigured and he was not recognized again. You could not recognize him. I just keep thinking about Mary now. How did Mary survive looking at her child going through such pain? For something she's quite aware of that it has nothing to do with. Now, after he was beaten, he had to carry the cross to Golgotha. He was tied to a tree and he was beaten so much he had lost all his strength. but he still had to carry the cross miles to where he was going to be nailed. At the point where he was nailed in a manner such that he could barely breathe again. It's humanly possible for him to even breathe as he was hung on the cross, as he was nailed on the cross. If you read John and the entire experience fully, and you go back to read what historians had written, the concept that theologians have, it paints a picture in your head that you cannot recover from. And I don't know, it just feels humanly impossible for a human being to go through that much pain, that much sacrifice, that much torment, and still say on the cross, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." Still, that same person asked because he was so tired. He was neglected by his own people, even those people that had seen him perform miracles, those people who were there and they had seen him do amazing things. To the point where you can trust me. They were pointing and telling him that he has to just save himself, because if he calls himself the King of Jews, why can't he save himself? And this was the same man that they had benefited from. He was not just neglected by his own people, but at a point, God himself could not look anymore. He had to move his face. And at that point, he said, "Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, my Lord, why art thou forsaking me?" Hey, gosh. The person who sent you, the person who has said, "I would always be with you." Now this person turned his face. Why? Because it was too much that you were bearing the sin of the entire world. He had to just look away. He could not gaze on Jesus himself. And this same man, when he was done, he said, "It is finished." And he went to hell. He triumphed over death. He came out victorious. He rose on the third day. Oh my goodness. And here we have mere humans with the life of Christ in us, with Zoe dwelling in us. And we have refused to allow that dwelling to have any essence. Of them that he can trust. Hi, this is the Colors and Lights podcast, and I am Ebolo Lufayo, your host. Yes, thank you so much for joining us again today, and welcome to our Easter special edition. Yeah, so we resumed back a few days ago, but well, we're still getting back on track. On this podcast, we have various conversations about life seasons, transitioning, faith, lifestyle, development, becoming, and everything all around, okay? Yeah, so if this is your first time here, welcome. We have other amazing episodes that you can listen to. We have single episodes and we have series as well. Our series are usually in fives, sevens, threes, depending on the ones you're listening to. You're going to get a brief at the beginning, and then the series goes on for a couple of weeks. Yeah. On this podcast, we have new episode every Thursday, but because I'm owing you 3 months worth of podcast episodes, yes, I'm going to be recording back to back, and I'm going to be putting in the work as I have promised. And this is my Easter special edition. Today is Easter Sunday, and it's so nice recording on Easter Sunday. I actually wanted to record yesterday, edit, and then probably schedule to post today. But I thought to myself, no, I want to record today and I'm going to edit today and I'm going to post today. Yes, I've had a long day and service was very, very interesting for me. I really, really enjoyed it. This is someone was about an hour and I don't know, I did not get tired. And one thing that I love about being in church is the fact that it feels like you are in school once again. Everybody's writing, listening. Then we had sort of like a practical session in church. It was really, really interesting. So yeah, I had to go back and sit and read some parts based on what our pastor had shared in church today. So it was really, really beautiful for me. Like honestly, this Easter is what this Easter is very, very beautiful for me. Yeah. And I hope it is beautiful for you as well. Yes. So today we are going to be talking about the sacrifice, the death, the resurrection of Christ, and the redemption story all around it. Yes. The intro is for you because I wanted to share a part of how I've felt this Easter. First, from the perspective of Judas, because honestly, it feels at this point that we are all trying to understand it better, but at one point or the other, we've been a Judas. Yeah. Then the fact that I don't know, a man can't be God because if so, we've not done right in God's eyes that would be called his own as much as we should have. So I still don't understand. We have so much to do. Yeah. I don't know how he just keeps loving us so much, so much. It's just so beautiful, you know. And the way I had to like repicture the entire crucifixion, and it just dawned on me that I don't know how someone human was going to go through that process and still love us. I don't know how that is humanly possible, but oh my gosh, it is very amazing. So yes, welcome to the best season of the year. This is Easter. Yeah, this is my favorite season of the year. And stuff like I love Easter period. Easter period is my favorite season, honestly. And yeah, today we're going to be starting from before everything happened, before the cross, the part where Jesus was praying in the garden of Gethsemane, Matthew 26:36 to 39. And at that point, Christ was overwhelmed. I'm going to be making sure I'm linking Christ's feelings to how we might feel at one point or the other as human beings. And this is going to be an assurance for you that anything you think you are feeling, Christ has in one point or another felt that way before and he overcame it, and now he has given us that same victory over any sort of those feelings, those thoughts. You know, he has conquered it all. Okay. Yeah. So at that point, he was overwhelmed and he asked if it's possible that that cup passes over. And he said something interesting. He said, "Yet not as I will, but as you will." If we are strictly to follow God's will for our lives, then I think some of us might have taken detours, some of us might have not done right as we should do. There are certain things that God will ask us to do, and we just want to do something that's our own will. Maybe it's something that is convenient, something that seems like it's going to, be the right choice for us from our own human eye. But here, Jesus still said it that yet not as I will, but as you will. Yeah. So at that point, the cup was representing the judgment and the words, and Jesus was not just afraid of the physical pain alone, he was afraid of stepping into the weight of sin, of that separation, of that judgment. But he still obeyed regardless, honestly. Christ's obedience is also very, very fundamental to our redemption story. If we could just obey as Christ obeyed, maybe things would be easier, honestly. The second part was when he was betrayed. That part was between he and God, where he just wanted that cup to pass over him. And then he was betrayed, he was denied, and he was rejected. And that part was what broke the humanity in him, but at the same time, his humanity is so strengthened by so much compassion. Christ is so compassionate. Honestly, Judas was the one that betrayed him first. Judas betrayed him and he kissed him with a betrayal. He kissed him as a sign of betrayal. That was a sign. I mean, is it not ironic? You kiss someone to betray the person. Oh my god, that's very, very ironic. And then Peter, that was one of his closest disciples, he denied him 3 times. Like, for you to deny somebody 3 times, that's crazy. The first time, the second time, the third time. The first time you probably think of it, and if you've not felt bad enough to not do it again the second time, then you would have felt bad the second time, then to do it again the third time. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. And then those people who were even in the crowd, some of them had witnessed his miracles before, and they were still shouting that they should crucify him. They had seen the mighty works that he had done, they had seen the miracles, but follow the crowd. Don't follow the crowd, guys. Don't follow the crowd. Don't follow the crowd. But everything happened based on prophecy. Isaiah 53, verse 3. It had been prophesied. It says he was despised and rejected by men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. So yeah, Jesus was not just rejected from just by his enemies, he was even rejected by those that were even close to him, his friends, everything. But it was prophesied already, so we knew this was going to happen. But how much of the pain can we go through of the end point of the prophecy that we've heard when we know what the path is going to look like? I mean, if somebody told you you're going to be the greatest, and then the person goes ahead to give you the breakdown of how you're going to have to go through hell before you become the greatest, and it's a prophecy, are you still going to be willing to do it? I don't know. That's crazy. Yeah. Then after he was betrayed, he suffered. That suffering part is a lot. Is a lot. Before he was even taken to Golgotha, where he was killed, where he was nailed to the cross, and where he died, he was beaten. Yeah, the soldiers, they mocked him, they spat on him, they placed a crown of thorns on his head, they humiliated him. And Isaiah 53, verse 5, that particular one where we say, by his stripes we are healed. It is very, very, very beautiful. But at the same time, let's look inward that he had suffered just for us to be healed, just for us to be complete, just for us to be clothed, to be fed, to experience freedom, to experience victory. He had experienced the opposite of it. So everything that we have access to right now is the life of Christ that is dwelling in us right now. Yeah. And then after he had suffered, that was when he had to go to Golgotha. He was taken to Golgotha. He had to carry the cross, and that was the point where he was nailed to the cross and he was crucified. He had a sign on his head that said the King of Jews. And still while he was nailed, you see said things like, Father, forgive them for they know not what they do. That's Luke 23, verse 34. And I don't know how someone is going to be interceding in pain for those people that are causing him pain. I don't know. See, when Jesus said, love your enemies, he had loved his own enemies. He said, love your enemies and even pray. He had even prayed. He prayed for his enemies. I don't know. How is that humanly possible? You want me to go on my knees and pray for my enemies? But he has done it before. And when he did it, he was human. It was flesh and blood. So yes, it is possible. You can do it. You should do it. Yes. Yes, you should do it. And then the last thing that he said, it is finished. John 19:30. Yeah. So that was when the work was complete. All the debt had been paid. The redemption work was sealed. And the sacrifice of his blood and his flesh is very much sufficient and is still evergreen and relevant till this point. Yeah. And then after that, we have the betrayal. There were a series of processes to the redemption process, and I think another perspective of it was what happened in the spiritual realm. In the physical realm, he suffered, he was beaten, he was crucified, he died, and then they had a burial. He was taken to the tomb, and you know, everybody, people did not even know what to hope for, but some people believed, some people did not believe. Early in the morning, some people went there, and one of the spiritual aspects, what happened in the spirituals, that part is like another thing that I think we believers need to look into for real. Like, what happened in the spiritual aspects, like behind the scenes of it. Yeah. On the third day, he resurrected, and that's the most beautiful part of it all. It is amazing. Like, Jesus is alive. It feels so, so good. And yes, let me read this to you. Romans 6, verse 4. We were therefore buried with him through baptism into death, in order that, just as Christ was raised from the dead, we too may live a new life. So, when Jesus died, we died with him. Our sins, our worries, our bad ways, everything died with him. And when he rose, we rose with him. And we rose with that new life that he has given us. Yes. The old nature that separated us from God has been taken away. Now we are invited to live into a new life. But the personal part of it is that Jesus did not go through all of this just for what it is, but he did it for the transformation of our soul. We should not just allow this grace to just pass us by. The everything he has given us, what are we going to give in return? Are we going to give our lives to him? Are we going to rededicate our lives to him? And also, he has given us a template to it. Tell someone, pray for someone, encourage someone. Easter is a very beautiful period, but even more beautiful if you dwell in the essence of it. So, this is to you, this period. Don't just listen to the sermons, listen to the songs, post about it, his reason, post the flyers, post the songs. You know, that redemption is completed for you, for me, for every single person out there. And you have to tell someone about it. You have to know about it too. You have to also be aware of the beauty of the redemption that Christ has given unto them, the victory they now have. So don't keep quiet. Let your voice be loud enough. Let everybody hear you. Christ has risen. Tell them. Tell someone that Jesus loves them. Jesus cares about them. Jesus is very intentional about them. I mean, tell them that somebody is coming to save them. Somebody has saved them. Jesus has saved them. So come on. And you yourself be very much aware that Christ has saved you. He has saved you from every single thing that you can think of. You are fighting from a place of victory, so you need to be aware of that. I really hope this brings you to the point where you rethink. And even though we have just today and tomorrow left of this Easter period, you know it does not end with the season. It's a continuous thing. You have to have it with your lifestyle. It's just a moment for us to be able to hammer on it again and say it over and over and over and over again. But don't let it depart from you. Just let it stick with you even as you go with your day-to-day activities every single day. I really do hope that you come back to Christ. You acknowledge that He's the Lord and Savior. You tell someone, you encourage someone. I really do hope you do that. Once again, happy Easter. And yeah, we're going to have another episode soon. But whilst we wait for that, please make sure you do listen to other episodes that we have. Share this with someone. Even if you can walk up to them and preach to them, you can just share this to them. Listen to this. I want you to understand what happened on the cross. I want you to understand about the sacrifice of Christ. Just share this to them and let them listen. Yeah. Do have a wonderful week ahead. It's a start of a new week, and even though Monday is going to be starting with a break, do make sure you put in your productive best. Yes. Have an amazing week ahead. Bye.